So here we are again, going back in here, because when they get an update, I always test it. I test it here actually. It's also because as you know, these trucks they don't pull away from a dead stop on a hill. So if you crash or you stop, it's not going to happen. So we're going to see if this update resolved the issue, because apparently they've been working on it. So that's what we're going to see. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn on this, because I don't really use this because I'm so accustomed driving otherwise. So we're going to use this and then see if we can get ourselves up the hill and see if they actually fixed it. Because really, if you're pulling the correct load for your truck's ability, then you should always be able to pull away in first gear, which is something that never happens with this game since day one it came out. So we're going to see now if they got it fixed. So here we are. We're on pretty much the most inclined part of this whole grade. And as you know from my last videos, getting up here was not happening. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to try this. And look at that! She is pulling just like she's supposed to. Because like I said, in the US, you have to be trained to drive a stick. It is a separate license from the automatic, because Canada follows this as well. So it's nothing new between the US and Canada. And there should be no reason why you cannot do that in first gear. Your truck, if they got the trucks balanced where you could pull away first gear on the load that your truck can handle, you should be able to pull away in first gear. If that means you're stuck in first gear, that would be first low and first high. So, you know, that's what it's supposed to do. That's how it's supposed to work. So if you purchase that controller, your controller set, and you got your clutch system that you had to toss off to the side because you can't use it, plug it back in and get back into the grind of things, because they fixed it. It's working. You have to kind of like bump the clutch, work it a little bit. It doesn't matter if you've checked it into yourself and discovered that it's not right. It's still a video game, and the engine for the video game may not be able to be that direct. So a walk around by the use of bumping a clutch like a car would help to resolve it. Then that's what you do, because the most important part is they did get it to work. There's no argument there. And then, do we still have our engine brake? Yep, still have the engine brake. Do we still have our retarder? Let's check that. Yep, we still got our retarder. Let's get some speed up in here. The truck has not lost its performance, because you have to remember that my configuration is set where the speed limiter on this truck is off. This would be like having a governor on the truck, and you're that driver who goes up to his mechanic and says, turn that governor off and turn that thing all the way up. So I have that off, so all my truck performance still exists. We're going to try our cruise control for right now. There it is. Yeah, we still got our cruise control. So we're all in good order here. So we still got everything that you would need to have a truck get its job done. And on top of that, it will pull away first gear on an incline just like it's supposed to. May have to bump and work the clutch. Who cares? It's getting the job done, and that is everything. So just to show you what I mean by bumping the clutch. So as you see here, my clutch range is practically dead center. Because if you go too far over here, when the yellow starts to show up, it'll shut everything off. You won't have access to engine brake, cruise control, and all them other cool things. The clutch still, as you can see, works like it's an off and on. But what I'm doing is basically, when I'm releasing it, I'm kind of doing this with it, trying to keep it from dying, and that's what helped pull the truck away. Now, because beforehand, when I would try to do this, it didn't matter. It would just die out right out of the gate, just die out, like as if I just let it go all the way and had it engaged. So by working with it until I get it to pull away, it responded like that, and that's how I was able to pull away on the incline, something it could not do before. So for those of you who are sitting around there saying, well, they just upgrade stuff, they don't care about this or that. Well, apparently they do, because they did get it resolved. And the last couple of times when they were working on it, they were very close to getting that taken care of. And then now we could pull away from a dead stop on an incline, something that couldn't happen before, no matter what you did. It still dies out. I'm sure they'll probably tweak that out so it works better. But considering that they did get this taken care of here, this is my final update for this game regarding this issue, because they did get it resolved. I mean, we're going places. It's not like we're not going anywheres. Beforehand, I used to have to go through all these red lights because I knew that making a stop was a waste of time. You fought too much to get going. And then now they got it where you can do it. And on any incline, it was like a big help. So therefore, I would recommend it still. Yeah, I know it dies out a little bit, but beforehand it was bad. Now, if they can only get this problem fixed with the American Truck Simulator, then that would be a nice deal. Because American Truck Simulator is like how this game was when it first was released. You dying all the time. I'm sitting here thinking, I got like a smile from one side of my face to the other side because they got the truck configured correctly. So that now you can pull away from a dead stop. That is just so cool. I can't get over that. That is just really cool. Okay, so I reached our drop-off point, and I wanted to show this. As you can see, this is one of the most worst place to be having a truck die out on you in first and reverse low. Those of you who have done it know exactly what I'm talking about. It'll drive you out of your mind because the whole obstacle in this place is like no room to work. You got to back, go forward. And as you can see here, I'm straight because I had to pull forward and then back up in the worst spot, because I always hated dropping off at this kind of location because the truck would just die all the time. But since their update with bumping the clutch and working that around, I had no trouble. I was able to get in here. I only had to back up a couple of times to straighten out, and that was actually on an incline, and including this one here, I had to back up to it, and I didn't have to drive in the rocks or anything else to do it. So it is working. You just got to bump the clutch. Now, as you can see, the wheel is up. So will they resolve this issue with the lift axle? To be honest with you, I don't care. All I know is that it starts. She'll pull away from a dead stop in gear while on an incline. You may have to bump the clutch a little bit, but that don't bother me none, because it's working, and that's everything. So I hope you enjoyed this update video. When this one goes up, the complaint one previous to this will be taken down to be replaced by this, and this will be the last video I will be putting up in regards to this, because they fixed it. So there's no point in going on about that. I like to think the developers were taking the problem seriously, that they actually took care of it. That just tells you how much they care about the game. So for those of you that are going around saying, they don't care. Yeah, they did, because I can now drive the truck like it's supposed to. And those of you out there who spent that money on that controller, you can now drive the truck like you've been wanting to for what you had purchased. It works now. You just got to remember, you got to kind of work or bump the clutch to get yourself going from time to time. It tends to die out once in a while when trying to do that. Fortunately, the response to the truck going outweighs the amount of times it dies out. That's why I'm saying it's like a fix, because this truck spent more time on the road and pulling away from the dead stop on inclines than it actually did dying out. Where beforehand, it made a living at dying out, trying to pull away from a stop on an incline, making it kind of miserable to play, because you have to back up all over everything just so that you can do that. So therefore, there you are, and I hope you guys have a good day, and you guys actually have fun in the game, because the way I see it, the truck is configured correctly for that. Who knows, maybe they'll tweak that out a little more, so when you're bumping the clutch, it's much more efficient than what it is. Have a good day.